Welcome back to Coffee Talk episode number 8. This week I am joined by Robert Zujan. We basically talk about a lot of stuff. I'm not going to go into what we talk about because it's in the episode. So if you want to find out, listen to the episode. But yeah, I hope you enjoy. I've never done a recorded intro like this before, so hopefully it's not too weird. But yeah, I had a great time chatting to Rob and I hope to do it again in the future. So make sure to subscribe to Rob's channel. His link is in the description. He's just hit 20,000, so you could be the 20,000 and 68th subscriber. Who knows? So yeah. Great job. I hope you had a great week and hopefully you're enjoying your Friday and hopefully this improves your Friday. I hope it does. Okay, have a great time. Enjoy the podcast. Robert Zujan, everybody. I'm sure a lot of people who watch any of my content have seen your content before. You're a pretty big deal in the Irish YouTuber scene right now, I would say.
Really?
I would say so, bro. You just hit 20k like 2 months ago.
Mate, I don't know, maybe at this stage I've had this dilemma of Irish content creator scene doesn't exist. It just doesn't.
But
it's just,
is that not a niche for you?
Inexistent.
Is that not like an opportunity for you to just smash your way in and just be like, I am the Irish content scene now?
I think I'm just gonna. I feel like just jumping off the boat now and I'm just gonna. Basically, think about what's the peak of Irish entertainment. It's be on RT on the Late Late Show. That's peak. That is peak. And Ryan Tuberty currently has that position, which is about 100 and something K a year. That's peak. That's the ceiling that we can reach. So you kind of have to branch out to the UK or America or somewhere to actually make it a career.
That's
and most people don't look at it as a career.
Yeah, but I think to be honest, in 2021, if you're not looking at content creation or media making or anything in that form, if you're not looking at that as a career path, you really have your head in the sand.
It depends though. Some people are just wake up and they're happy being a doctor or something, or just a lawyer, and they're that's them.
For sure.
They want that security. Which fair enough.
Yeah, that's definitely true, and I think it's definitely true in Ireland. I know exactly what you mean. That's interesting because I've never actually looked on the content scene like that before. You're very right. Ryan Tuberty is the top dog.
It's only hitting me now though. It's only hitting me now because for the longest time I was just
When is now? When did you kind of have this epiphany where you were like?
I think it was around when we were doing Go House and stuff. I was the amount of conversations that I was having with people, and a lot of the people in the house, I think maybe myself and Ryan kind of shared that I want this to be my career.
Yeah.
But most people they kind of had it, but at the same time, everyone was okay, college, I'll do this. Nobody actually wants it to be 100% their career. I don't want anything else. People kind of understood Ireland's a small place. You can't just be a content creator in Ireland and make a living off of it. It's just things that don't really click. I don't know anyone to look up to and be oh, they make a full-blown living from this. I don't know anyone. You can name people, but it's mostly their side stuff. Let's say fitness. Number one, they're a personal trainer. They're also doing social media. There's nobody who does social media and that's their number one income. Anyone who you name out in the social media sphere, they're making money from something. Even Tom and Jake, videography, then social media stuff.
Yeah.
Everyone's like that. There's nobody who just primarily makes content and makes a living off of it.
There's no Logan Pauls in Ireland right now. But I think...
I don't think there will be.
Do you think?
Maybe me being pessimistic.
No, I don't think you're being pessimistic. I think you're being realistic off of the current situation. But I was going to say that I don't know you well. I've had a few conversations with you here and there. I've seen you working, and I can honestly say that I know that you have that sight, and you're this is what I'm going to do. College is very much on the back foot for you, which is understandable. But you can also say how long have you been doing YouTube?
3.5 years.
3.5 years, bro. That's a long time.
And it's consistently, maybe now with COVID, it's slightly slowed down. It might be a video a week or a video every 2 weeks. Back when I started, it was just like straight away. As soon as I started, it was pedal to the metal because I wanted to do for so long.
Yeah.
And once I broke that barrier of, because like it's obviously fucking scary starting it. Like you're like, oh, people judge me. Once you break through that, you're just like, I'm free. I can do what I want. I can create how I want.
Yeah.
It's just a freedom. Like it's actually like crazy, but you just feel free.
It's invigorating.
Now I can do whatever I want.
Yeah, for sure. But you can. And as they say, like the world is your oyster, realistically. Like I think when you put yourself into the situation that you've put yourself in willingly, like you've openly said, like, okay, I'm going to make content around myself. Like I'm going to put myself on social media every single day. Like what people take me for, what people want to take me for, that's their own business. But another interesting thing is you are very different to how you come across on social media. And I feel like you've heard this quite a few times because I remember one day in the house, Jake was saying it to you. And I was like, fucking hell, it's so true.
Yeah, maybe YouTube is probably the best place where I put through my personality.
Yeah.
But everywhere else, it's like I just kind of ride trends maybe, or just try appeal too much to whatever is.
I don't know.
Asked of the platform.
I think you've kind of shifted would this is actually a funny story. Well, it's not funny, like it's not a laughable story, but it's just a coincidental story. I remember the first video that I ever saw of you was when you were in LA. And I remember watching your videos and I was like, this guy is fucking going for it. Like, I remember there was points when you were like walking around, like you had to walk everywhere because like you had no money. Like you were literally like, well, I have no money in my bank account. And I remember watching those videos at the time. And there's actually me and my mate Aaron, he's another guy that lives down here. He does YouTube as well. And we were like, fuck, like he's in LA with no money, like literally walking hours to get to a destination. And then you would go in and didn't you go to Gold's?
Yeah.
Didn't you like save up? But I was like, why did he go to Gold's Gym, but then have no money to do anything else? But then I thought, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry to interrupt you. I'll finish that, but I have a funny story about that.
No, you're granted. So basically, I was like, in my head, that did not compute. I was like, if I was there, but then I realized, like, if you hadn't have went to Gold Gym, I probably would have been like, oh, he's not really that big into fitness. It was like a sabotage that you had to make, but it like literally sabotaged your poor bank account. But you absolutely sent it. So to you, fair play.
Yeah, everyone was going on 6-year holiday, and I think I've developed like this mentality. That's where kind of I want to like build my clothing brand around and everything like that. Like Weird Kid.
Yeah.
I've forcefully like pushed myself away from like the whole lads mentality, that whole 6-year holiday, like that type of shit. Yeah. I hate so much. And like when people get like name called or like bullied for trying to do something different or anything like that. And I was just like, I'm not going to a 6-year holiday. I'm just going to go to America. I don't care that I have no money. That's what I want to do.
Yeah.
But goals, my friend, like it was like his brother's wedding. So he was going to Hawaii. And he was in LA for like 2 days and he was going to Goals with me.
Okay.
And I knew that you can like, I looked it up. I was like, okay, you can get a free pass to Goals because that's how I got my gym sessions in. I just do a free pass in every gym.
Yeah.
So I did one in like LA Fitness, etc. I'd like try them out. And Goals did one, but you needed to like be a resident or something. I was like, oh, please, man, I'm a student. I swear. Like I go to this college, like I'm an exchange student. For about 15 to 20 minutes, I was haggling him because $40 to me was like big money. And he finally let me in and my friend had to pay $40 for like a day pass. But I was just like haggling him for like 40 minutes. I was like, please, man, I filled out everything. Can I please get this free pass? And he just gave it to me in the end.
That is nuts. And actually, speaking about haggling people, didn't you say something about, this is so weird now, this is actually just instantly coming back to me. Did you get into a party saying that you were Conor McGregor's cousin or something?
Yeah. That happened.
Like you look nothing like Conor McGregor.
I don't even look Irish that much. Like, I look foreign, like I'm from Eastern Europe. I don't know how they believe me. I think it's just the accent.
But it just shows you though, it's like, if you don't ask, you don't know. Like in my head, like I'm trying to consciously be a bit more outgoing and like put myself out a little bit more. But like if I was in your situation there and someone told me to be like, say you're Conor McGregor's cousin, I'd be like, nah, I can't. I can't. Like, but then I think like, what is the worst that can happen? Like realistically, he's gonna say no, and I'll be embarrassed for a minute. But you just went there and you're like, yeah, no, McGregor's mate. Me and him are bros, and he was like, yeah, go for it. That's funny.
Very, very weird how that happened. But also, they're very stupid. So people forget that, but Americans are just stupid.
And absolutely,
they believe anything.
At the entire nation, you just came out there guns blazing.
I'd love to do it again. I was planning to do. Nick's gonna kill me, but we were trying to plan to do it this summer. He was like, "Oh, keep it a surprise and just go over there." And they're doing. Have you ever heard of like those camp visas where you like?
Yeah.
I looked into doing one of those back in like sixth year, but I wasn't in college, so I couldn't do it. Now I'm in college and I can do it.
Yeah.
But I don't know, 2 months worth of being a camp instructor. I can't make content for a month of COVID America. You get like 30 days to like travel and do what you want.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's America and COVID. Is it really worth it for me to do 2 months of like practically like their minimum wage is lower than ours? Like it's just.
And dollar isn't worth as much either. That's funny.
Yeah,
so like they would literally be like, you can't make, or is it like you can't make content because obviously you'd be busy, like you'd be relatively flat out, or is it like you can't make content under our rules because you're working with us?
Haven't looked into the details, but I would say filming and being around children's probably like somewhat of an issue with them. Maybe I don't know, because you're like looking after kids all the time. You stay with them and all that shit. And I was just like, I'm not even good with kids. I don't know. How badly do I want to go?
That's funny. But I think I definitely think you should go. You should definitely go back, because I think like if you're feeling like that there's no kind of next level in Ireland right now in terms of content creation or like getting that top spot, would you not consider kind of doing like, I think that would gain, like for example, like I saw those LA videos when you were way younger. Like I wasn't even subscribed to you at those points, but they came through on my For You page on TikTok. What am I talking about? On my whatever page it is on YouTube, the homepage. But they like came pushed to me. So would you not maybe think about just going to America anyways and just be like, screw it, like I'm going? Because I think that content, with the combination of like your personality and your following base that you've built up now naturally, would just flourish in a situation like that.
Bro, that's been the plan since I was like 16. I've been talking to people about visas, O1A visas, these visas. I wanted to like have a consultation with a lawyer, but that costs too much.
Yeah.
Actually just like immigration lawyers, everyone's like, even the reason of me doing college right now is just to go to America.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even care about the course that I do. It's just that I know that you can get like a postgrad and somehow maybe squeeze out like some kind of 3-year visa. All I need to do is get myself an American wife, and that's it. I'm golden. And I will do it just for content. Be like, I got an American wife for a visa.
That would be a fantastic.
Someone will do it, because I'll just find another content creator and be like, look, I need that visa. This is like, you know, like when Jake Paul got married to, I can't even remember the girl's name. But
didn't he get married to like 3 people? Was it Tana and Marco he got married to?
Yeah, I'll just do that.
Yeah.
Just get my visa.
Sure, didn't Bryce Hall get married to one of his friends there the other day in one of his videos? I don't know, do you watch it?
I think so.
I saw he put up a video, he's like, I got married, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. I wonder, did him and Addison Rae get married? They got married to one of his mates in Vegas. I'm like, well, that's just a big commitment to make for a video, but also great clickbait, like. But actually, while we're here, I'm going to backtrack a little bit, because you kind of mentioned about your clothing brand and you kind of skipped over it a little bit. But you have a clothing brand named Weird Kid. Oh, sorry, did I disconnect there? Are we back?
A little bit, yeah. All I heard was clothing brand.
Yeah, my bad. I was just saying I just want to skip back a bit to when you mentioned your clothing brand. So you have a clothing brand and it's called Weird Kid, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. It's kind of like a merch clothing brand thing.
Yeah. It's kind of a combination. You kind of advertise as merch, don't you?
Yeah,
which makes sense. That makes sense. And like have you done 2 drops or 1 drop? I know you did that grey oversized hoodie. And did you do it after?
1 drop, and then the second drop has been taking since September, I think. If not longer. Just a long time, because I got like 2 samples and I just wasn't happy with them. Then I switched manufacturer. And now at this stage, I'm really fucked with college work. So I'm just gonna tie in that into my college project and be like, look, I made a whole clothing brand just for my college semester. And they're like, oh, very good. So I'm trying to make like a tech pack and like make it look like what clothing brands actually do, like send it to manufacturer and kind of do it all professionally.
Well, that's a good idea, I suppose. Even like it's great that you get like kill two birds with the one stone and such, and you get it for college. But even for yourself to go through that process, I think it's good. But I think another thing that I actually found quite interesting about you, and I don't think a lot of people know, is that you're big into art.
Oh yeah, I think I got it like from my mom, because when she used to like paint things, shit like that, and I was like 3 or 4, and I was doing the same thing, and all the way through school, I was always like in art, always like really big into art. All my like primary school teachers, like early on, they're like, you should do this for like, you know, go to art college, do this for a living, like you should do something got to do with art, and it was constantly like pushed into my head. And I just knew it was going to be something creative that I wanted to do. And I can't take it too seriously now for some reason, because when I'm in art college and they make me like draw on a canvas, I'm like, okay, who's going to pay my bills? Like, I don't get it. Like, if you make a painting, what from it? That mentality is just there. I think that just comes with age. Yeah. And most people in there, some of them are just very gullible, and they're continue on with their art course. Like, realistically, like an art course is like just... You're going to be an art teacher, or I don't know, just a piece of paper comes out of it. That's about it.
Yeah, it's interesting though. But I think if you go into art college and you go in there, because I think there's 2 ways you can look at college, and I'm only finding this out because this is my 2nd year doing college now. I did like a year open course in UCD for a year just because I didn't know what I wanted to do after school, and then I went into UL, so I'm in UL now. But I think that you can kind of look at college 2 ways. You can be like, this will guarantee me a job as such in some field. Or you can look on it as in like, I go to 7 lectures in a week. Out of those 7 lectures, there must be something relatively like knowledgeable or interesting. And it also gives you so much time to think and to be like, okay, and especially now, as bad as online college is, in my opinion, at least, I think it's so bad and I really hate it. Like, I never would have been able to start working at the Go House. And as well, like, I definitely wouldn't be able to put as much time into my YouTube or anything like that, which to me it's an interesting thing. Like, as you said, it's hard when you know that, like, I finished this course for 4 years and like I might literally come out of it with a piece of paper. But the other side of it is it gives you like 4 years of solid time to be like, do I really want to do this? And then I think, if this makes sense, this could be an absolute load of shit as well. But I feel like if you're like, I seriously do not want to do this, your brain goes to this place where it's like, what do I do to get out of here? Like, what is my next move to make me successful or make me like have a good life, or kind of like survival instinct, if that makes sense. Obviously that's a broad analogy, I would say, but yeah, that was a bit of a segue, I think.
Yeah, you subconsciously just try to get yourself out of it.
Yeah. That's
sometimes I feel like people, like even people who don't know what they want to do after school, I feel like doing something is better than doing nothing. Yeah. Obviously, like, don't drain your parents' bank account and like, just start going to like different colleges. But better to do something than nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not against college. If anything, I'm pro college, because like the environment that it is. Before COVID, like, you're around people your own age, networking, etc. Of course, you can go the other route and just get pissed every weekend, and it's really up to you. Like, it's so in your own hands.
It's like the first taste of independence, I think you get, isn't it? Because it's like, you can come to this lecture if you want, but like, you don't have to. And it's up to you whether or not you want to pass this. But like, we're not going to get onto your parents, like, you know. And I think that thing, like, as you said, you can really go 2 routes about it. And like, is this your 2nd year in college?
First.
So did you finish your leaving cert and take a year out, or did you finish?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So we're the same age. You're 19, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
That's nuts. I feel like you're like 25 or something.
Really?
Yeah, so weird, man. It's so weird. I think I don't know what it is. I feel like, because I saw those videos of you when you were in LA, and that's like my perception of you. Like, you were young then, And like now I see you, I'm like, oh, he's like a full grown man. He's got like 70 kilos of mass on him. I'm like, this dude's a transformer.
That's funny.
I don't know why that is. It's weird. Because like when I started to see you the odd day up in the house, I was like, you're so much more shy in person as well. Is that, and I don't mean that in a negative sense. I mean, like, you come across really confident on social media, but I think you actually said it to me as well that night that we were all out, and there was people coming up to you in Dublin, which is nuts as well. Like, but I'm pretty sure you were saying how it's like online you have this weird perception where everyone thinks you're super outgoing and you're super like, what's going on? But like, I'd say that's quite intimidating almost to have like people running up to you and shit.
I had because I did a podcast recently with one of my other friends. I had a great example of this. During the summer, we went to this place, Clare Glens. It's like a waterfall spot. Like, we literally just went there because it wasn't lockdown. I think it was like a level 3 or something.
Yeah.
It was like just a summer trip. We brought a few bottles.
Yeah.
And I literally heard voices in the distance of people like talking my age. It kind of freaked me out a little bit, and I was like, lads, can we please slow down? Because we're like walking. I was like, can we just stop here? And then once we got to the spot, like, I heard noises of them like saying my name, and that just freaked me out so much. It ruined my mood, and I just left early. I get it's not anxiety. I don't like calling it like full blown anxiety, because people say, oh, I have anxiety, and it's like nearly like a meme. I don't like saying that. I just feel very uncomfortable in social situations.
I would say, sorry to cut you off, but I do think that that's like a touch, or I would say that is like, and I know exactly what you mean. Like, I feel like mental health is in this weird place at the moment where it's like there's a far right and a far left. And I think like being anxious or having anxiety is a normal feeling. It's like having a sore leg. Like that's literally that feeling though. I think that you're getting there. Like, if I was you in that situation, I would be shitting myself. I would be like, are these people going to come and be friendly to me? Or are they going to come and like take the piss out of me and like attack me? Is where my mind would be. And although that's probably not realistic, my brain would be in that space. But that's crazy. I didn't think like it would get in on you that much.
No, like, it can just ruin a day. Especially another thing that could happen is like, if I see an L play or like an N play, like new driver, novice, and if it's in Limerick, I can automatically, I put in my head, okay, they're in college. That means they might be like someone who might like watch my videos. And the odd time I hear someone just scream out some like annoying shit, or just like try to piss me off, or just the F slur, like anything, it just comes out of their mouth, and that like kills me inside. So now I'm just afraid of end plates. I'm just like, I see an end plate and I get shy and just scared.
That's so funny. You're afraid of end plates. That's something that I never would.
Those and longitude. So they're the two. That and longitude.
That's gas. Did you see that clip that Tom shared where they put it over the bro?
That was gas. It's so funny.
It's actually funny you say that. I was just editing the lads' next podcast, and Tom just brought it up talking about that clip. But you guys have literally become a meme. Like, you are at that level. Like, that's an achievement in itself. Like, at the time, I know there was there was a lot of like up in the air about it. I remember from being in the house, but like now, you guys are literally a meme. Like, you are a standpoint in time.
You know what's crazy? Fucking Ryan told me this so long ago, like when the clip just came out, and it was maybe on like 200,000 views, and nobody was making like jokes about it yet. Ryan was like, that's going to be a meme, you should probably ask him to take it down. I was like, I don't care, like that doesn't really bother me too much. He's like, no, you should take it down, it's getting a lot of hate. He texted me maybe like 2 weeks ago, and he just started like sending me funny videos. He's like, I told you. And I was like, you were right. Like, I don't know how you foresaw this, but like, you were right. This
it got taken out of context so badly. Like, I
explained myself wrongly, to be honest. I talked about it in a weird way. I should have just said like, oh, I just don't like social situations. Yeah. Instead, I just said it in a certain way. Bro, people hear what they want to hear.
That's true as well. Like, people have their prejudgments about you already, and they're going to want to have something to cement that in. They take that and they can flip it and warp it whatever way they want to, realistically. Like, and that's a weird thing as well, that I feel like, not to say that Ireland as a population is unsupportive, but I don't know. Sometimes it's like you see that, like as you said, like people shouting at you out car windows. Like I'm just like, why? Like what? I struggle to understand that in people, because I feel like there's no positive benefit to either people. And like, I'd feel horrible if I did that to someone, which is what genuinely confuses me. Or even looking on some of the TikToks from people in Ireland and just seeing the hate that they get. It's like a trend. It's really weird.
I can't describe it. I think the only thing that helped me like get over it, like my friend, he used to do social media kind of with me at the time when we were like 16, 17.
Yeah.
His name was Sam. He had like a fitness page. And all we did was like have a fitness page on Instagram, literally just doing advice, filming PRs. That was it. Like, that was literally, I didn't even have a YouTube back then, I think.
Yeah.
And some like rugby lads just like came out of us and just started screaming shit at us while we were like walking home from the gym. After a while then, Sam just didn't really do social media anymore. Like I kind of continued on through because I love YouTube and stuff, but he just doesn't do it anymore. Like there was a stage, like I won't go into personal shit, but like he just like fully stopped with like socials and stuff. The only thing that I could understand was like, okay, maybe they do it because it's like funny, like it's funny with them, like they get entertainment out of it between each other, but they don't actually have any, like they don't hate me. They just find it funny. That's the only thing that helped me like cope with it.
Yeah.
I was like, anyone who like does shit like that to me, they don't hate me. They don't even know me as a person.
Yeah.
They just think it's funny. It's funny to them, like around their circle. They don't think it does anything to me.
Yeah, I know what you mean. And what it could arguably be, I think it's insecurity. I think that those guys are so insecure in themselves and they're so annoyed to see somebody breaking out of that stigma of like, don't make yourself known, like don't pop your head out, don't be weird, like, and then when someone does it, it's like put him back in his box. Because it may, like, I know if I was in their boots and I saw a kid younger than me starting to do social media and starting to get a little bit of traction, starting to get some attention, maybe his followers are going up, I'd be like, oh, that's in bits. But it's like, why?
The quote, "Who does he think he is?" is just like our Irish small town mentality quote of the year. Like, who does he think he is? Like, what the?
Such a small town McGregor, like.
Yeah.
Who the fuck is that guy? Oh no, that's hard though for your mate Sam. Like that's tough. Like to be honest, I think I'm actually very lucky that like where I'm from and like my like close group of friends from school have been so supportive. From like I started posting pictures about probably I'd say a year ago September, and like I started to kind of like do more videos where I'd be talking, and then obviously last summer I put out my first like podcast. It was more so just to break that like anxiety, I suppose, around, not anxiety with bunny ears, literal anxiety just around posting that first video, because you're like, oh, what if? So I think once I did that, but like I got such good support and I'm so fortunate for that. Like, as you say, that's the other side of the spectrum where people don't often hear about that. But like I got none of that sort of hate at all. Like some people would say something, but it would be more slagging on like a night out and that would just wash over you. But like never have I been shouted at or shit. That's tough. Like
people, nah, nights out are just cancelled for me. I just don't really know. I haven't been on a night out like in Limerick in like 2 years. I'm just like, I've heard way too much crazy shit like roaring at me. Or
what?
I remember some guy, screaming at me before. Like he just said to his friend while he's like right next to me, "You should scrap Zujan. I'll give you a $5." Just like, will you just hit him? Just because like shit like that happens here. It's just,
that's in bits. Like that is in bits. I know I just said it a second ago from being like, oh, that's in bits, but like that whole situation is in bits. Like imagine asking your friend to hit someone because they're doing well in life. Like,
I think it's more of like the reason I love America so much. You get full creative freedom. Like, it just doesn't matter. Like you have a podcast, cool, whatever. Like you make videos, okay, nice. Nobody gives a fuck.
Yeah.
Like, if anything, they find it interesting. They find it more interesting. Like that you have this hobby of yours. Here, it's like you're trying to do something different. Fuck you. Why? Who are you trying to be? Who do you think you are?
That's it.
That's what it goes back to then.
That is it. And this is actually interesting. It's on the same topic. I did a podcast with a guy who goes to my old school. Like, he's still in school. He's like 16, I think, or 17, sorry. And I was just saying this to him. I was like I never would have started YouTube during school or started Instagram during school. And he was like, it's very different now. He's like, people are more open to it. Like, people are doing a lot more like Twitch streams or trying to make TikToks as well. TikTok is really, I think, normalized making videos, which is quite odd because I didn't think it would. Because like for my age group, I find like a lot of people find TikTok cringy, and it's like the age group though below us, so like the likes from like 14 to like 17, say, it's like that's actually like a platform that they like respect. I'm going to use that word for lack of a better one, but it's almost like broke that gap of being able to make content, which is quite interesting because I feel like when I was in school, like I wouldn't have dared make a YouTube video.
I feel like Ireland's always like about 5 to 10 years behind every other country. And if you look at America, that kind of happened with them. TikTok just became normal and everybody just posted on TikTok. Yeah. Then after a while, it just became normal here as well. So I'd say that stigma is just broken and everyone kind of hops on it at this stage and just does something. Like every single profile that you see, any comment, you can go on their page and they probably have made a few videos.
Yeah. Which is weird because like 2 years ago, that never would have happened, I don't think.
No.
So we're so much more connected now, I think, as like, because, and I actually think COVID in a weird way has made it more okay because people are left with their thoughts a lot more. That's probably one of the main reasons I started, to be honest, was because I was just left here sitting constantly being like, what am I doing? Like, I've wanted to do YouTube since I was 15. Like, why don't I just throw my hand at it? And now, like, I'm delighted I did. Like, I love it. But it does take that initial, like, can you remember the first day that you were like, oh, I'm going to post a YouTube video? That's years ago for you.
I remember the day. I remember the month. I remember it crystal clear.
That's
I was so scared to do it. I just remember every little detail about it. I remember coming to school and like someone like walking up to me, this guy, and like he wasn't like a close friend, but you know the way like school has a hierarchy.
Yeah,
he would have been more on like the more popular side. I'd like to consider myself someone in like the middle. Because I played like a little bit of sports, so I knew a bit of everyone.
Yeah.
And also, I kind of just did my own thing all the time. I just go to the gym.
Yeah.
That was it. And this kid like walks up to me. He was a bit more popular and just says, "So, do you think you're famous now?" Literally just said that. And first YouTube video, and it's like a fitness vlog or something.
Bro,
I just thought it just my stomach just sunk. And I was just like, well, I started now, I can't stop. Like people already slagged me now, so it can't get worse.
It can't get worse.
That's it.
This has actually been so interesting hearing this perspective because, to be honest, like I never would have thought, like it's weird because, as I said, you give off a very different persona on social media to as you are when I'm talking to you face to face. Like I never would have known about any of that side of you starting YouTube, which is nuts to think because it never happened to me, so it's hard for me to think of it happening to someone else, if you get me. Like, bro, that sucks. Like, fair play to you for continuing because that's the kind of thing that is so easy to be like, I'm done.
I think I was just itching to do it so badly. I was like, I'll take the criticism. I just want to do it so bad.
Yeah. But you like took it and rolled with it. And now look, you're 20K up. Whoever that kid was just got wrecked. So
whoever that kid is, he's probably in some college house just drinking every single day. doing like a business course, I'd say. I like to think of those people sometimes. They kind of fuel me. I'm like, fuck you.
That's fair. That's because you've had experiences with them. Like, if I was in your boat, I would think the exact same thing. Like, that's grim.
I have a list on my phone. I think I told this to Nia and Dara before. I have a list on my phone of every person who, like, slagged me or did anything like that. I have just a list of their names. And whenever I'm, like, feeling down or something, I just look at all those names. And it kind of brings back the memory. Like, even this is nice, like talking about it. I just get refueled and I'm like, fuck, I want to make a few vlogs. I want to do this. Yeah. This week I want to go for a jog, dude. I just want to kind of create this feeling in them.
Yeah.
Of like extreme, just what the fuck? He actually did it. Yeah. Like beyond like 1 million subs, being like a Lamborghini. And you know, like, I can't describe it, but have you ever had like this extreme feeling of like jealousy if someone like really succeeds? You're like, fuck. You're like blown back by it nearly.
For sure.
That's what I want to give that to them. Subconsciously. I don't want to. It's just a weird thing in my head that I kind of I think I read it in a book before. Like,
It
and I
makes
was like,
complete
that's
sense.
cool.
It's satisfying though. Like
You
I
kind of
have,
steal the situation from them. You're like, this
yeah,
is mine, and you use it.
but it's almost like, oh, remember when you were making fun of me? Do you want to get into my Lambo and I'll bring you to Starbucks and I'll get you a double cream frappuccino? You know, it's kind of a bit of a heavy, like, I don't like using the word flex, but it is an appropriate term in this sense. But it's almost like you don't make fun of other people because you don't know like what they're capable of or like what they're going to do or what their situation is. It's just a rule of thumb. And it's like, I'm sure when I was in secondary school, I said a mean thing about a certain person, or I said something to another person about another person. Like, I was a stupid kid, but like, to think about doing that now, it's a weird thing that it just doesn't make sense in my brain. I'm like, it's just, there's no time for that. Like, life is short. And there's so much more things to accomplish than making someone feel bad about themselves. Like, imagine that being a priority. Like, that guy who came up to you, he planned that out. And he was probably thinking so highly of himself afterwards. And as you said, like, what's he doing now? Wrecked. But you don't need to know either.
I like to think of people's potential. I think that's why I myself can never do it. When I see someone like doing something new, I just immediately see their potential. I'm like, okay, well, you know what? If they keep this going, if they do that, they could probably get to that. Like, I just straight away like make a timeline and be like, okay, if they could actually go for this.
Yeah, makes sense.
Like, some of my friends, they all kind of do different stuff in like the creative field. Like, one of my friends, he does music, and as soon as he did it, I was just extremely proud. I was like so happy with it because I was like, fuck, he's finally going for it. I can tell that feeling of like creative relief. Like, you put out your first song, that's it, the floodgates are open. Potential is just, that's like what's beautiful about being like a human, you know? Like, you can start here, in 10 years you can look back in it, and it's just like this big amount of work, and I was like, oh my God, the potential he has. He can do this, that. You should ask me, I'll get these people to use that as a TikTok sound, you blow up. And I was just like, you'll go on tour. And my brain just starts racing. I see their potential nearly more than they can. It's like, you can go for this.
That's a great sign of a great friend. That's something that I'm quite fortunate from where I'm from. Like, my close group of friends, like, all of them do something. Like, whether it's YouTube, have a brand, make clothes, do fitness, something. Like, everyone's doing something, and it's really nice to be surrounded by that. Another thing on that similar topic of like seeing the potential other people have, it's very motivating. Because like, any of the days that I was up in the house and I would have seen you guys vlogging, or like Jake would have been recording, or Tom was recording, it makes me feel really like I want to do this. Like, I want to make videos too. Like, it's real kind of, I suppose the word is, it rubs off on people. Like, when you surround yourself by a certain type of people, you eventually will take on the characteristics of those people. Not exactly, but I think that's something you learn with age. Because if I was 14 in the house, I probably would have started speaking like someone. But it's like, when you're 19, you kind of have your own ways set, and it's like, oh, that's cool, I want to try that.
When are you 20?
March. And actually, in a week, yesterday.
I'm 20 in a month.
Are you the end of March?
Early April.
We're very close in age, and for some reason I see you as a 40-year-old.
How does it feel hitting 20?
Bro, I don't know. I'm not ready for it yet. I have a few more things I want to do before I'm 20. I need to make one more YouTube video, because I tried to do like 2 YouTube videos every week for the month of February, and I've one more to do. And then I've had this like brand idea in my head for so long called Fractured Vibe. Now, it's not like an actual, like, I don't want to launch it and like launch a load of stuff from it, but I want to like launch the website and officialize it before I'm 20. So I can say, I thought of this when I was 16 and I did it before I was 20. And then I want to probably make a recap video on like what I learned from my teens and just talk absolute shit for a little while. How about you? Are you ready?
What do you think you have learned from your teens?
Oh, bro, a lot. Bro, I think I have changed as a human being since I was 16 to now drastically. Like, I would say I'm a different human being. Like, in 16, this is very illegal, but I remember me and my friends owned a bar. We like made our own bar, and we were having like parties for TY. Now the thought of that is like, to be fair, actually at the time it was very cool. I was very happy with it. But what could I think 17 was the year of awakening for me. Was the year that I was like, oh my God, there's so much more to life. Like there's so much more. And I was like, this person can call me an asshole. I can go home, feel bad about it. I can sleep, wake up in the morning, and I can be like, I'm not an asshole. I can still do what I want to do. And I think I started like getting really focused. Like I got massive into the gym when I was 17, 18. Like I was kind of training 6 days a week. I was training before school and I was just super committed to it. And I think that was the first time that I got obsessed with something. And now I feel like that obsession has shifted towards like content creation, whether it be like podcasts, YouTube videos, like YouTube edits, photos, anything where I'm like having that ability to like take a thought and physically make it into something. I think that's the biggest thing I learned. And that people, like, I think I learned that people are great. Like, there's a lot of bad people in the world, but there's a lot of great people in the world. And if you look hard enough, you will find them. And that you
People
can't
can give so much energy.
Pardon?
People can give so much energy, but they can also drain it.
Yeah.
You need to be, I think when you're young, when you're in your teens, you don't really control it.
Yeah.
You're just so hopped up on hormones. You're like, I'll be friends with anyone as long as they're just, cool. That's it. I'll just be around you. And you don't care. You don't care what they're doing to your energy. You don't care what point of life they're like driving you into.
Yeah.
Like if you're hanging out with someone who's like really into one thing, you'll probably be into it as well.
Yeah.
You just don't realize that when you're a kid. Once you're like this age now, you just kind of realize like, I need to be very careful with my circle.
Yeah.
And I can only see certain people. Like I have childhood friends that I still like make an effort to see, but I won't hang out with them too often just because I know we have different ideals, we have a different vision.
Yeah.
I'll just let you do your thing. Like I wish you all the best and I'll just do my thing.
Yeah.
And that's just how it goes. You just need to, that like daily circle of people that you see at least once a month.
Yeah.
You need to have a grip on that. If you don't, you're just floating around in the air, aren't you? You're just like, whatever happens.
That's actually a very good way of putting it. I think you said it much better than I have. Like people, like I firmly believe in energy, like firmly, like I think we are, this is a very deep Joe Rogan thought, but I feel like we are all energy. Like I feel like, yeah, I'm a human, but like I will die eventually and I will turn into a bunch of mushrooms that someone or something will eat. And it's just a continual cycle. But I do honestly feel that like, you can be what type of energy you want it to be. Like I could be a horrible person and you probably wouldn't want to talk to me right now and you'd get that vibe from me and vice versa. But it's like when you have a genuine conversation with someone and you're in their presence, you can sense immediately. But that's only something I've learned probably in the last year.
Yeah. I've just tried to like this, but back in the day, like when I was maybe 16, 17, I was just like, on those Gary Vee podcasts, I was like mindlessly soaking it in. Like I didn't really understand, but I knew I can't be around certain people. Like I can't. Okay, this person lives for simply just drinking on the weekends. Probably shouldn't be around them too much.
Yeah.
This person goes to my gym and is pretty positive and supports anything I do. Should probably talk to them more often. And after a while, I just kind of made little circles that I was like, okay, these are the only people that I'll see. If I see any other people, they'll ruin my fucking routine right now. They'll ruin this little trend that I'm going on. That's really it.
That's that again. God, you have a fucking way with words. Holy shit. You're literally like saying things and I'm hearing them and I'm like, oh my God, that's the thought that I had in my head in words. But it's like weirdly relatable because like, as I was saying to you there, like when I got big into the gym, that was a very big pulling force for me to kind of step back from like wanting to go out every weekend or like wanting to play Xbox at night. Cause I was like, and it wasn't that I thought everyone was like doing the wrong thing. I was like, each to their own. But I was more so like, well, if I stay up late tonight, I'm not going to be able to go to the gym tomorrow. And if I don't go to the gym tomorrow, well, then I'm going to be a fat piece of shit. And then I'm going to get in my head and then I'm going to feel bad. So then I was like, okay, well, what's the problem? And I'm like, well, it's actually going to do this thing. So I need to just rule that out and continue with what I'm finding enjoyable. But I think I was far extreme at that age. I didn't have balance. And I think now it's like I'm in the middle. I'm trying to find that balance, which is so hard to do.
Yeah. What part of your life do you think you lack in your balance? Because I feel like we all have one.
Yeah.
But
I would say downtime, to be honest.
Downtime.
Like, and not being like,
Real downtime, not like sit down and like watch Netflix.
Yeah.
But like actual
like
for real,
mental.
like yeah.
Yeah. Oh, 100, like, and I don't.
Our whole generation has it, I think.
Yeah, because we're so.
You want to be occupied. You want to be entertained. That's why TikTok's good. People love just ding, 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 ding.
TikTok
roulette machine.
Bro. I delete TikTok, I'd say once a month when I get to that point of like, I get a moment, and it generally tends to be at like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night, and I'm scrolling. I'm like, what am I doing? And I literally delete it. And then I'm like, oh, I'm just going to get it back just in case I need to post. And then it happens again. Right now, I'm in a rut like that. I'll go on it during the day to do something for work. And I'm like, oh, fuck, that's funny. And then before you know it, like 20 minutes is gone. I'm like, what am I doing? No, I don't, when I say lack downtime, I don't mean like a hustle 24/7, grind all the time, always working. It's more so like I find it hard to switch off. Like I could be editing maybe to like 10:30, 11 sometimes. And then when I finish, I'm just fried. But like, I don't want to do nothing at that point either, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
And how about you? What do you reckon?
Oh, right. Probably, yeah. Turning off might be one. That whole pushing people away thing. Yeah. I just do that too much anyway. Sometimes just even to like normal people, I'll push them away by an accident. Like I'm fucking nearly 20. I haven't had like a full on like serious girlfriend ever.
Yeah.
I push people away a lot because I like my routine, and sometimes I'm like, you're gonna wreck this. You're gonna wreck whatever's going on right now. You're gonna ruin this, and I like whatever this is.
What do you think? And this is like, I'm for the first time in my life, like I'm in a relationship at the moment with a girl who I genuinely like. Every time I see her, I enjoy my time. Like I really look forward to seeing her. And like I see, like when I'm with Safik, I'm like, this is a good thing for me. Like I feel good about myself. I'm like, I support her in her business, she supports me in mine, and it's like I feel like we bounce off each other. But genuinely, like when I'm with that person, like I feel happy. So would you ever consider, and obviously I'm not being like, man, you need a girlfriend, because it's nothing like that. It's, as you say, it's such a subjective thing, but it's more like, would you ever consider trying to do that but make it part of your routine?
So I've thought about it before, but does that not seem a little unhealthy that I'd get a girlfriend just so my routine's better, just so I'm like more productive? That's what sounds weird in my head. I'm like, should I get a girlfriend just because I want her to like, be more productive? Just like get to know someone, be like, okay, listen, I have YouTube. You need to like pressure me to upload now and then. You need to do this, that. I'm gonna be very naive and just say I'm just gonna wait until it like falls into my life. I'm not gonna like even go out there and look for it. I'm just gonna like.
That's what happened to me though. Like the way I met Safik, I'm not going to go into a big story here, but it was just a weird coincidence. I was going to Amsterdam with my mates, and she was going to Amsterdam with her mates on the same flight on the way out and the same flight on the way back. Now, I'd never spoken to this girl, but I knew her, and that was the first time we conversed. And I was like, that's a weird coincidence. But then I started seeing her in college, and I didn't even know she was in the same course that I was doing at that time. And that was when I was like, this is weird. And then I found out she lives like 10 minutes away from me. And it just kind of fell into place, but it was never something that I saw coming, like ever. Like even to this day, it's weird to think that it happened. But that's what I mean. I didn't mean to get a girlfriend to boost your routine, but I meant more so like, would you ever consider, it's kind of, because I think it's a weird thing. It's like taking on an extra element into your life.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm scared of. I just don't want any more elements. I'm like, this is enough.
Well, bro, you're 19. You're young as shit. Some people don't start seriously getting involved with people until they're like in their 30s.
That'll probably be me. Like realistically, I seriously think that'll probably be me.
But there's nothing wrong with that either.
Well, if we're looking at balance, probably I think I'm lacking in like being like affectionate or with someone, or like being close with someone.
Yeah.
Like one night stands are never gonna like pull it off as like having an emotional connection with someone. Nah. That's just stuff that you use to boost your ego. Yeah,
that's fair. Or enjoyment, because I think both parties enjoy that as well at the time. It's like it's an enjoyment thing, but also it's not a long-lived thing. But again, like everything has a place, and maybe so you think that's your place where you're lacking, to say the words, in
pushing people away.
Yeah, that's interesting. I never would have thought that about you. But you're quite conserved.
Yeah.
You
Like,
have a bit of a get the fuck away from me aura.
do I?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Seriously?
Oh, bro, I think the only time I talked to you was when I was a few drinks deep, and I was like, and it wasn't a thing that well, actually, this is interesting because I was gonna say this, but like when I joined the call there and we started, bro, I was shitting myself, and I was like, why am I? I don't know what it was. Oh yeah, I was a little bit nervous. I was like, it took me a while to get. Now I'm like chilling, but like at the start of the call, I don't know why, I was like falling over my words and shit. I was like, what's going on with me? I don't know.
That's funny. I've not really heard of that before.
Yeah, it's not like a violent one. Like, I don't think you want to like kill me, but I'm
Maybe
more
it's
so, like,
just because I'm a bit shy or something.
I think that's what it is.
That?
I think so, because I think like when you told me that night, I was like, fuck, that makes sense. Because I was like Nia, for example, in the house, she's so like outspoken,
right, and just like,
yeah, like she's not the kind of person that I'd be like intimidated to talk to, if that makes sense. But like you kind of, and I think that's why your appearance on social media versus you in reality. I actually think I saw you the first day I worked in the house, because that was the day Jake filmed that video with you, and that was when I was like, oh wow, he's like really different to how I thought he was on Instagram. He's like very much like, you're more articulate, you kind of think into things a lot more, which is quite interesting.
But I also kind of hate Instagram and TikTok just because, like, I can't make original content on that. I can't make something that's like from my creative little ticker. You know what I mean? Like, I can't. I just copy whatever someone else has done before, and like, you know, a picture of me in some clothes, that's not original. That's just a picture. Like, I'm not even in control of it. Someone else is picking the angle, and all I can do is maybe color grade it, and even then that's not really peak creativity. At TikTok, then it's just riding a trend.
TikTok's an interesting one, isn't it? It's like, I don't diss any platform, because I'm like, people make serious money on that platform. Like, look at Bryce Hall, he was doing YouTube, but now look at him, like TikTok literally made him like a millionaire, and like, that's fine. Like, I have no problem with that. And I'm like, I think it would be silly to not classify TikTok. Like, when people are like, no, like, I wouldn't bother posting on TikTok because I think it's cringy, but I am trying to make it. I'm like, well, if you're really trying to make it, you're not utilizing all the tools you have, because you can make it on TikTok like Bryce Hall has done, and then segue to your YouTube channel. Like, I would look
That's
at
exactly what I thought. Yeah. I just feel bad if I didn't use it. That's it. I don't like it. I would feel bad if I just didn't use it.
Yeah, I feel like you're wasting an opportunity.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that is the case, because I think like the potential for like exploding on that is nuts.
Yeah. But you know what else I've noticed? I think if you are a Irish TikToker, there's also a ceiling, just because of the way the algorithm works and what people it pushes it. Like, if you look at any, like, okay, if you gave me either Lauren's or like Sean, like most of their phones, like, I could guarantee you it's like 80, it's like 90% Irish people.
Yeah.
Unless if you do like something kind of like what's their name? I don't know, like some dancing TikToks or some shit that's like
a
doesn't even require anything. Maybe then, but most of like the big Irish TikTokers, it's all their following is strictly Irish, and I think it's just because if you upload from Ireland, it's gonna only show to that audience. I've noticed that with YouTube as well. Like, when I posted in Barbados, like, I saw the comments and it was like a lot of Barbados people coming. I was like, this just proves my theory. Whatever country you post from, it's gonna push it to their algorithm. Like, I've not really seen any like YouTubers like blow up globally, except fucking Jacksepticeye, but any YouTubers blow up globally in Ireland.
Yeah, that's quite interesting. Like, I try my best not to look at my views now. Like, I'm not a booming like YouTuber or anything, but I do find that sometimes you can get kind of caught up in my views, like I can, and it's a weird thing that I like almost see my view count and I'm like, I probably know those 40 people. Like, I would find it very hard to see any of those 40 people being someone I've never met in my life before. And that's probably my fault, because I'm not making content that's like relatable to a broad audience. But then I'm like, do I really want to? That's the other weird thing. It's like, do you sabotage your own like style and intentions to kind of make a video that you know is going to do well? Or do you stay true to yourself and just ride that wave for a longer time to eventually get to the point where you want to be?
I've had great experience with that where I like dip my foot in it and then go away again. I think there was a time in sixth year where I couldn't really vlog because I think I was no, was it? Yeah, it was sixth year because I was working, I was studying, and life was just really crazy. All I could do was sit down videos, like, you know, kind of like commentary videos.
Yeah.
And I remember I used to look up to like Thomas and Darata, and they were all in like, you know, 5-digit subscriber counts, and I was like, fuck, like, you know, I just thought it was crazy what they were doing. Like, I'd sometimes go up to Dublin and try collab with them, like maybe just because I knew Thomas, and try to get to like Cal or something, because they had always like more subs than me. And the type of content they made was like Irish this, Irish that. So I made like commentary videos that were about Ireland, like Ireland specific. I'd like script them. I think they're like a little bit funnier, entertaining. But I kind of regret it. Even like a few daily videos that I made, I might regret a little bit, just because they're not authentic to me. And I'd see the odd comment from like people who followed me for like my original stuff, and they're like, "What is this?" Like,
that's funny.
Yeah, I got in that audience who do watch Irish TikTok-y content, but do I need them? They're not even the people who are gonna stick with me or like like what I do. They're better off just watching other TikTok stuff, like not my fucking gym video or vlog that I do.
I know what you mean. It's like building that genuine fan base that actually enjoys and interacts with your content. Yeah, I suppose it's a similar concept of like having like buying subscribers or buying followers. It's like, it's great to see the numbers, but like I look at engagement when I go onto someone's
you just have to forget about numbers. It's the only thing to go. You just have to. You could just see so many people who have like millions of subscribers, and it just doesn't even matter. Because they don't have that connection.
It's true. And I found myself over the past month, I was like, I think I was at like 150 starting February, and I was like, I want to hit 200 by the end. Just to explain what happened there, the internet disconnected. I absolutely bottled it on my end. So we are back, and I'm going to finish this so I don't keep Rob forever. So yeah, I think, bro, I can't even remember what we were talking about. That's the most annoying thing. I can't wait till I have a physical podcast studio to be like, come in here, let's link up, let's grab a coffee, and let's like.
You think with COVID, like how long would it be until that's even possible? Like I'd much rather prefer that, because running a podcast and doing Zoom calls eventually just got very, I don't know, I just got sick of it. You don't get that connection.
No, you don't. You really don't. Like I would fucking
power being with people.
Yeah, but you bounce off each other much more. Yeah. Like, to be honest, I actually found like I got a lot from you. Like I felt like, as I said, when I joined, I was like nervous for some reason. I was like a little bit like all over the shop, but like 10, 15, 20 minutes in, like I felt much more at ease, and I was actually like really enjoying the conversation. But I always find it weird when I do podcasts. It's like the time flies by.
It depends what person it is as well. Yeah, I've had a few where I'm like just pulling questions out of them, and sometimes I just forget it's a podcast and I'm just like talking to a friend on a Zoom.
Yeah. I think that's how I like to keep the style of my podcasts though. Like I've done a few, I did like 4 at the start where I just talked to myself about stuff, and that was probably a crazy point in my life. That was when I was like trying to get into the whole YouTube thing, and I was like, I just need to do these, and I enjoyed them. But then I started doing them with people, and I kind of liked it. Like, I don't want to, like, I wouldn't like to have you on and interrogate you about stuff and like ask you like kind of questions that would do well, if you know what I mean, like questions that people would click on to see. Like I actually just enjoy having like a genuine conversation and just learning more about you as a person, because as you say, there's not many people doing content in Ireland. And it's cool to be able to have the opportunity to speak with someone that is. And like, as I said at the start, like you are doing very well with content at the moment.
Thanks, man.
Like who else? I suppose Rob lips it. Who else though in Ireland actually has a good?
Rob dipped. Rob isn't even in Ireland. Like,
he's in. Where is he now? He's in
Spain.
Spain, yeah. That's crazy. I feel like he tanked though. I feel like he bottled it in the last like 2 years.
I used to be probably like the biggest fanboy ever.
Yeah.
Like he probably might, like his creator agency talks that he used to do. Like I went to like 3 of them. I went to the one in London.
Fuck.
Yeah, because I just it kind of made me start YouTube.
That's
Like, it gave me that confidence. I'd love to do them myself one day when I'm like at like that level, do my own like creator agency type things, because it like gave me the motivation. Because I was like, here's this guy who just made YouTube his whole career.
Yeah,
Does it not even like? There's not like too special about him, and I was like, I could do that, and that's when I was like, okay, that's it.
That's interesting.
Like anyone could literally do it. People really get caught up in like too many things and start questioning. Oh, it's too late. It's this. It's that. It's not fucking too late. Like, it's been around for so long. I hate the excuse of, oh, it's too late now. YouTube's been around for ages. I hate that excuse.
That's and I think I used to tell myself that it's a saturated platform. There's no point in doing it. What a pussy. That's all.
You could literally like just blow up in the next year and just overtake like most people who've had channels since like 2017 or 2018. Who knows, that could happen.
There's a high possibility. Like, all it takes is one video to hit the algorithm right. And but the thing I always think, and this kind of comes back to what we were saying before the call dropped about, like, do you make content that appeals, or do you make content that appeals to you and eventually formulate like it's like an actual engaged fan base? And I'm like, sorry, excuse me, if you stay true to your own content and you build that good content, and you're like, all it takes is like a lucky break, when people see your shit, then they'll be like, oh wow, this guy's just been doing his thing, and they'll like you for you rather than liking you for like, oh, he made a video on this, that's interesting. Like, I think it's important to really kind of focus on yourself, I suppose. Like, it's a great opportunity to do it. Like, nobody tells you how to make a YouTube video. Like, you can do it whatever way you want. That's invigorating. Like,
also, I think you could probably make a living off of it. Like, let's see, if I was to put a number on it, probably like 250,000 subs. 250,000.
That's interesting.
You could make a living off of it. You could just be living comfortably.
Wouldn't that be cool?
Man, I'd be okay with like living in a car, and just, if it was my living, if I get to be in LA and just make videos out of there, I don't care. Like, I'd be okay with like just the barest of the bare minimum if I can make this like my living.
You will, though. You're saying like if you can, but you 100% will. Like, I don't see that you in 20 years are going to be working in an office. Like, I
don't see it. It's impossible. In my head, it's impossible. It's,
if you don't,
I already know. I know it's just a case of time.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like back in the day, I was a bit naive, and I was like, in a year.
Yeah.
And then after a while, you learn YouTube, and you're like, well, maybe a bit longer. And then after a while, you're like, well, maybe I need to figure out my brand first, and I don't even know that myself.
Yeah.
I just make videos. Then you start figuring out a path. Then you start knowing people in the industry and like talking to other YouTubers, and then you get that one chance to like talk to someone who's like really up there, and they give you their advice, and you slowly grow as a person, and your content grows. And it's like any other career. Like, I don't think there's any career that you can just enter and in a year be at the top level.
No, 100%.
Nothing like that. Like, think about it if you're like a builder or something.
Yeah.
You have to spend a long fucking time to build like a client base and work your way up, etc.
Yeah.
It's like any other career.
The thing is, as you said at the start, oh my God, it absolutely slipped my mind, because I was thinking about what you were saying there about a builder, and I was thinking about, oh yeah, becoming the foreman is like, that would take a long time. Oh, it'll come back to me anyways. That's so annoying. I haven't done that in so long. Like, it was on the tip of my tongue, and I've just absolutely bottled it. You were talking to me about YouTube, and that was it. How people don't recognize content creation as a job in Ireland.
Yeah.
Like, how though? It's so difficult. Like, I think when you make content from when you're young, your content is growing with you as a person, and you're developing as a person, and every day you're learning new stuff. Like, every single day you learn something new, like, with no matter how small it be. Like, I sometimes see a video and I'm like, that's interesting. Like, today I saw a video where it was like, if it doesn't take more than 60 seconds, do it now. So it's like, okay, well, my bed's a mess, I could make it. Just do it now. Or I'm like, that task will take me 20 minutes. Like, I'll just do it now and get it done with. And it's like, that's something I learned today. Imagine how many things you're going to learn by the time you're like old. Bro, when I'm old, I always say this, like, I want to be old at like 67. Like, I want to wake up if I want to make a YouTube video, make a YouTube video. But at that point in time, I'll probably be living by a river and have like horses and stuff and a Lamborghini truck. And like life will be great at that point. Life is great, but like that's my goal. So I'm like, well, if I need to get there, I have to go there. So how do I go there? And then your brain starts to be like, oh, okay, well, if I move that piece there, I put that over here. Kind of comes back to what I was saying earlier about like when you're at like no other option, your brain subconsciously kicks in. It's like, this is how you get there.
Yeah, your brain does figure it out, doesn't it?
Brain
to give it a chance though.
Yeah, that comes back to about having that downtime of like 100% downtime. Like when you like, do you meditate or anything?
I used to meditate a lot more than I do now.
Yeah,
I used to do it very often. I used to do like, because sixth year was a nightmare because it was just like, do I go college? Do I do this? Like for everyone. But I just had that extra pinch of, I was just thinking, oh, YouTube's going to blow up. It's going to blow up. And I was like, oh, I don't know. So I used to meditate a lot more. I used to do like classes.
Yeah.
Just like proper get into it. But now I don't do it as often. Probably because sort of laziness, sort of I don't feel like I need it as much as I used to.
Yeah.
And when I don't do it unless I'm physically fried. That's probably a bad thing, but it's just how it goes. Like unless I feel like, fuck, this is like a serious situation, then I do it.
Yeah. Like this is just on the topic of meditation. I started doing the Wim Hof method because I'm going to do a video on like doing the Wim Hof method for like 30 days. And like, I think I'm on like day 18 now of cold showers. And it's like, it's gotten surprisingly easier. But the main thing that I've enjoyed is the breathing technique. Have you ever tried the Wim Hof breathing technique? There's one on YouTube.
I'm close to getting a year of cold showers every day. I've been doing it since yeah.
Bro, that's so fucked.
And I have a YouTube video nearly like that, but it's like taking cold showers for a whole year.
Yeah, bro, that kind of shit on my topic, but no,
I've never done the Wim Hof like breathing technique. I just jack up the thing as cold as it goes and just freeze my balls off, get out, and just feel fresh.
Like it's a great feeling, but I keep getting these pains in my head, and I am not gonna lie, like 4 days ago I was like, I have another 15 days to go, fuck this, I was gonna just call it. And then I had a long hard look at myself and I was like, don't be a bitch, you've done 15 days, like what's another 15 days? But it's that initial getting in, but oh my god, like you just feel amazing after it, don't you? It's like going from being non-caffeinated to having an excellent supply of caffeine in your bloodstream. But it lasts is the thing. It lasts a lot longer, I find. Do you feel the same now? You've been doing it for so long.
Probably diminishing returns at this stage. It really just feels like habit. Yeah. But I do feel refreshed. Like that's all I kind of do for it. It just feels like regenerated.
No, but I did the Wim Hof method is like a combination of cold exposure. He uses it as like brain therapy, basically. That's the way I look on it, rather than like getting into a cold shower. I look at it as like, okay, well, Matt DeVela actually made a video on it. I think that's how you say his name. He had a very...
I love his videos.
Yeah, they're really good, aren't they? He called it like a flinch. He was like, that's your first flinch of the day. So it's like you flinch at the thought, but then you do it. And it's like that creates positive momentum going on through the day. Now, that's how I look on it, rather than like the thought of being tough and getting in the cold. I'm like, this sets me up for a good day.
Yeah. Plus, I know like if I do that, I'll probably like complete other tasks as well. It's about having like a few small little wins.
Yeah.
Like you get up on time, you have a cold shower, and you sit down at the desk. You're probably going to do something. Like there's a very little chance that you're going to go, nah, and just pull out like a laptop and start watching Netflix. Yeah. There's a very high chance of you just slacking off and being lazy. If you don't wake up on time, even though if you say like, okay, I'll wake up a bit later, but I'll work till later.
Yeah.
If you're justifying in your head, that's how laziness works. It just starts justifying stuff. Then you don't have that cold shower, and then a few other slip-ups, and then it's gone. Just slips out of your grip and you're gone.
Yeah, that's a really interesting way of putting it. It's like procrastination rationality. Your brain is like, oh, well, I could do this task because it would actually help me here. But realistically, you're just setting yourself up for failure. That's so true, though. I think, like, I know you keep a journal as well. I've seen you writing in it before, but I find writing in a journal is so handy. Like, I think it's like a big game changer that I learned when I was probably like 17, 18, and I was like, this is a game changer.
I don't want to be dramatic, but I feel like it changed my life.
Oh yeah,
Like, it's just like it changes so much. Like you get so much more done. It clears your head. Like once in the evening at about 8 o'clock, I'll write out everything. That's it. I'm free. My brain is empty. I know that I don't have to worry about the rest until tomorrow. That kind of helps with that downtime side of things.
Yeah.
Like if you do it in the evening, you can let go of everything a bit
That's
more.
a good idea. The way I do it is I write it all in the day and then I scratch it off in the evening. And then so the way I have it is like I have like say all the things I have to do, and then underneath it I have like what are my main priorities. So if it's like if I'm feeling just like burnt out, I'll be like well-being. Like how did all of these tasks affect that? And then I just like scribble some thoughts. But that's a great way of putting it. It's like I feel like it takes my mental load and it just sits it on that book for tomorrow, and then I know like, okay, I've got everything out of my mind. I won't forget anything. I don't need to think about anything. I come to it tomorrow and I'm good to go.
I'd say it's just fucking impossible to even do it without it now. Like I can't imagine my life. If someone told me you're not allowed to journal anymore, I couldn't do it. Like my mind would go crazy with all the stuff that I need to do.
Yeah.
All the like tasks that'd be bubbling up in my head. I can't even imagine a world without it now.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's your creative brain though. That's the side that I never really knew you had because you don't show it much in your YouTube, but like just from knowing that you're in art college, like, and then I suppose looking at your brand, and it's like you have a lot of creative control in that, and it's like that side of your brain must be going like 100 miles per hour, and it's like that for me personally. I find like if I'm having racing thoughts or I'm thinking of a load of things, I literally always do voice memos, like always. I'd say I have like hundreds of them where I'm just talking absolute shit at like 11 o'clock at night, but the minute I stop that recording, I just fall asleep. It's like, have you ever watched Harry Potter? This is a nuts analogy now.
A long time ago, but I have.
Yeah, there's a moment where Dumbledore does this thing and he pulls a thought out of his brain and he puts it into like this cup. I don't know what it's called, but it's that thought, it's that feeling. It's like you put it there for another time. Yeah, that's really interesting. But yeah, I think I will let you go. I've held you now for an hour and 15 minutes, so that's a great podcast length. But unless you have anything else you want to say.
Probably not. No, I got everything out of me.
Good.
That was it. That was a great conversation.
Yeah, likewise.
That energized me.
Good. I expect to see 3 daily vlogs tomorrow, bro. And absolute light work, and that subscriber count just fucking skyrocketing again. No, that was a great conversation. Thank you very much, bro. I appreciate it.
Man. It was great talking to you again.
Yeah, it was. Thank you, bro.